Hello, and welcome to the 156th edition of Beer Issues. My name is Matt Brucker. I'm coming to you live here from Casa de Brucker in our studios, where we're going to be filming another outstanding beer of Beer Issues with the Great Divide Yeti Imperial Stout. A true classic when it comes to beer. Now, when I say outstanding, this is outstanding right on the border of world class. And I actually, having had it before, might push this beer into world class because I think it's that good. The beer rates 94 out of 100 in Beer Advocate. It clocks in at 9.5% alcohol by volume, so it's not a beer that you're going to want to sit around the poolside and pound. Something that you sip and enjoy. So I'm not going to waste any more time. I'm going to go ahead and we're going to pour some of this and kind of check it out here, okay? Okay, let me get a little bit ahead on here. We had a little malfunction earlier, so it's been sitting for a minute, but that's good because you would always, with an Imperial Stout, you don't want to drink it too cold out of the refrigerator, but I had already let it set out for a while. But anyway, you see the black, just motor oil black with the dark tan head. That is a sign of a classic Imperial Stout. You get great lacing, as you can see on the beer. So that's means that the carbonation was perfected when they made this beer. So you get a nice dark tan head that maintains itself, along with lacing, which is the kind of legs we call on wine, like we discussed before. So heavenly, that smell. If you like stouts, and stouts are really truly an acquired taste, especially Imperial Stouts. If you don't like coffee, you're probably not going to like most stouts, to be honest with you. So what I get out of this beer in the smell, right off the bat, I'm going to getting the malts, the taste of the sweet malts, but they're roasted. So it's roasted malts, and then you get definitely a coffee smell. Now, for a beer that's 9.5%, you don't get a strong alcohol scent like you might with a lot of higher octane beers. You just get a nice malty smell, really delicious. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take a sip of this and get going on it here. So right off the bat with this beer, having had it before, I remember every wonderful flavor that's in it. It's a very, I don't know how to explain it. Basically, it hits you with the malts. So you get those malts right off the front along with the coffee. There's a lot of flavors going on in this beer. So you get a strong malty coffee type flavor, which is standard for most Imperial Stouts. But you also get, I think it comes from the malts, you get a sweetness of the like caramel, toffee type flavors that you're deriving from the malts. A nice pronounced coffee flavor in there. Just a truly phenomenal beer. Now, I said most stouts, especially Imperial Stouts, if you don't like coffee, they're probably not going to be for you. There are some that do not have a pronounced coffee flavor, so don't get me wrong, they're out there. But if you think about what's your standard Imperial Stout, it's going to be coffee, like caramel, chocolate, toffee. Now, the one thing about the Great Divide, this Yeti Stout, is the hops, okay? Now, most Imperial Stouts or Stouts do not have, their IBU is really low, or their international bitter units for regular Stouts are really low. Imperial Stouts, the IBUs are a little bit high because they tend to be a little bit more bitter. But in the Great Divide, they actually use quite a bit of hops in here, and you taste it. When it finishes, you get a little hop bite in there after you get the coffee and the malts and all that. It finishes with a hoppy crispness. It's got 75 IBUs, so needless to say, I mean, it's got some hops in there, and those hops help kind of break through the sweetness that you get in a lot of imperial stouts. So starts off malty, coffee, sweetness, but it ends in a real crisp type flavor. It's just really a phenomenal beer. Well done. Mm. Oh, and about Yeti. I'm sure pretty much everybody knows that Yeti is from a Himalayan folklore that dates back to 1832. So the folklore has been around. Now in the U.S., they'll typically call him Bigfoot or the Abominable Snowman. But in the Himalayas, over in that region over there, they call it Yeti or Métis, MEH-TEH. So that's what they call it over there. The thing has been going on for years. So this is their little Yeti on the back. They have a little guy on the front, but I wanted to see the bigger one here of the Yeti here, so you can check that out. Okay, now if you've enjoyed this, make sure you tell your friends about Beer Issues and how much fun we're having talking about great beers like this one. Make sure you, if you want any cool gear like Beer Issues hats, t-shirts, phone cases, anything like that, make sure you go to shop.beerissues.com. And as my wife likes to say, I have beer issues.